That's right. What is going on, everybody? It is your man, Big Dog, and welcome to my dog house. This is episode 40 of the Dog House. Can you believe it, guys? It is... Excuse me. We are at 40 fucking episodes of the Dog House. I'll be honest, I did not think this podcast of mine would go very far. Even though I'm not at like 1,000 followers, which is fine. I don't need that many followers. My 12 is great. You guys are awesome. Huh, you know what? You guys got another Don DeMarco, man. You guys are awesome. You make this worth doing. I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you feel so inclined, please give this Twitch channel a follow. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel where I put all my episodes of the Dog House. That way you never miss it. Join me on Discord. And last but not least, email me with questions, comments, concerns. And, if you're so inclined, friend me on Steam. Friend me on Steam. Alright, anyway. Tonight's episode is going to be a pretty relaxing episode. Just me looking at some videos of stuff that's interesting to me, and also I'm looking into upgrading to a better microphone, because I know a lot of streamers nowadays, excuse me, hang on, my ear's itching, there we go, a lot of streamers have the professional microphones, and I'm looking to get something that's gonna boost the quality of my live streams. For example, I think it was either one or two of my friends, two of my friends who are also on Twitch, they also have, I believe they bought Blue Yeti mics, although Blue Yeti mics are almost like $100 or like $150 or 120 or something like that. I don't know if I want to spend that much. I know you can get some decent microphones for like 60 or around that. But, we'll find out. But first, let's follow up on something. I got a video here by Graphically Challenged. I'm starting to like this guy. I may subscribe to him. Let's see what he has to say.
Cryptocurrency just got completely...
I gotta say, I really like when he does that.
Cryptocurrency just got completely banned in one of the biggest countries. But what does this mean for gamers?
Let me guess. That country is China.
Let's talk about it. Before that, this video
I'm gonna bet it's China.
CDKdeals.com.
Make your bets in the chat. What is it?
CDK Deals is a website dedicated to getting you the best prices on games and software, and right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for an insanely low price.
You don't have to pay for Windows, you numbnuts.
Just find the best price and apply my special discount code.
I probably shouldn't tell you that, but you really don't have to pay for Windows.
You can also check out securely with...
So if you're paying for Windows, you're doing it wrong.
You should get access to the code both in your account as well as in your email. In order to activate the new Windows 10, just search Activate under Windows and type in your key. So if you want to learn more, be sure to click the link in the description below. So not too long ago, China really started clamping...
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
Down on cryptocurrency in what appeared to be a move to push forward their own currency, which would be much easier for them to control. Now, when this occurred, it led to a lot of mining farms either moving out of China completely or selling off their inventory, which also led to a drop in the overall price of graphics cards. But many have speculated that some farms may still actually be trying to operate despite the strict rules. Well, it looks like that's about to get a whole lot harder, because according to a Today article, it looks like cryptocurrency and all related businesses have basically been completely banned. So let's go ahead and read what they had to say about it, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. So according to Today, Spark, the largest Ethereum mining pool that accounts for 25% of the network's total hash rate, has announced that it will no longer provide services for miners located in mainland China.
Bruh.
It cites the need to comply with the latest regulatory policies as the reason behind its decision to close up shop in the country. The specific details of its shutdown plan will be revealed in the near future. And then they go on to say later in the article, quote, China keeps turning the screws on the crypto industry, with its central bank announcing earlier today that all crypto-related business activities have been outlawed. So that is definitely some really huge news when it comes to the whole
Drop an F in the chat
scene.
for the
But you might be asking
cryptocurrency,
yourself, well,
guys.
what does this mean for me as a gamer? I mean,
Somebody's
is this suddenly
here.
going to lead to a massive drop in the price of GPUs?
Being
Or is this really not
Cortana,
going to have
what's
too
going
much of
on?
an effect? Well, and to answer that question,
How
I
are
think
you,
we
sir?
kind of need to
Or
break
ma'am?
this down because, like I mentioned earlier, although there have been pretty strict rules when it comes to cryptocurrency over in China, already, well, it is still, technically possible if you want to try and, break the rules and try and get around it, that if these pools are still allowing you to mine on them, well, you could technically still be operating in China as long as you don't get caught and still continue to mine. But at this point, if all the pools are going to start to pull out because China has basically completely banned all of it, well then at that point you basically have no other option to either A, sell all of your inventory, or B, move out of the country, because it's going to start to become very, very difficult for you to continue to mine if there's basically nowhere for you to even mine whatsoever. So, when we saw what happened the last time where the GPU prices started to drop off significantly, and then we also saw a significant drop off in the price of all cryptocurrencies as well, I wouldn't be too surprised if you do kind of see something similar to that happen once again. You can already see right now that the prices of cryptocurrencies have dropped significantly. I think the price of Ethereum about a week ago was somewhere around like $3,500 or even a little bit higher than that. Now it's around, I think, $2,800. Now is it going to go back up or is it going to continue to drop down? That's something that I don't necessarily have the answer to. However, even if it does, let's say, stay at around $2,800 or $3,000, that is a drop off, and that is going to accelerate the decline in mining demand. Now, is mining going to completely go away because of this? No, I don't see that being the case. However, if this does continue with the prices of Ethereum dropping, somewhere around maybe even $2,000, let's say it hits something like that, well, then you could see it accelerated even further. And at a certain point, it's going to reach a point where mining, it may still be profitable, but it might not be profitable enough to justify buying dozens or even hundreds of graphics cards. And so, even if these people don't sell off all of their graphics cards, if they at the very least, stop purchasing graphics cards, that is going to make it easier for you as a gamer to try and get your hands on a GPU. Now, when exactly is this going to occur? That's something that I can't necessarily give you the answer to, but we do know two things are coming to Ethereum that could potentially drive down the profitability and allow you to get a better chance of getting a graphics card, and that is EIP3554 as well as Proof of Stake. Now, I don't know an exact date of when these are happening, but I do believe at this point they are going to be occurring at some point in 2022.
Damn it, I did it again.
Rather
Sorry,
than
guys.
later. I'm hoping for, Q1 of 2022, but things do tend to get pushed back quite a bit. So I can't necessarily give you an exact answer at this point in time. However, I wouldn't be too surprised if you do see over the next couple of weeks here GPU prices start to drop a little bit, but I wouldn't expect it suddenly to drop like, maybe an RTX 3080 from $1,500 to $700. I don't see that happening, but you might see something like $1,500, maybe down to like $1,300. That is, technically a possibility, but only time will tell at this point. But no matter what way you look at it, if you're a gamer and you're not interested in mining whatsoever, then honestly, guys, I don't see this as anything but good news for you. But real quick before we wrap this video up, I just want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. Whether or not you just watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, or even if you're someone who does super chats or donations, I can't thank you guys enough. I was recently able to upgrade my microphone as well as camera, so you should see, better quality video as well as audio going forward here. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. It really does mean the world, and so hopefully things do start to look and sound a little bit better going forward, and as I continue to tweak the settings, it will only continue to improve. So yeah, hopefully the quality just continues to improve over time. But hey, that's just what I think. Do you think this is good news for gamers, or do you think it's bad news for gamers? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and of course, I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, since he said that, I'm gonna also say it, and I know it's redundant as hell, but I do want to say I do appreciate everybody who's tuning into this stream, man. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it.
Made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like.
Okay, here's the other video that I want to show you guys. There we go.
4 new graphics cards were just leaked, and I think completely fixed the RTX 30 series. Let's talk about it. Before that, this video is brought to you by BroBot. Probot is a free, super fast program.
Okay, let's skip the sponsors. There we go.
So when the RTX 30 series was originally unveiled all the way back in September of 2020, a lot of people got very excited because, especially if you take a look at graphics cards such as the RTX 3080 and 3070, they promise to offer a very good amount of performance for a good MSRP as well. And although it has become incredibly difficult to try and purchase them for their MSRP, they still do offer
Difficult, try impossible.
Bruh. A really great performance jump over their predecessors. However, there was one major complaint, especially with those two graphics cards, and that was the amount of VRAM that they came equipped with. Because if you take a look at the RTX 3080, it's much more powerful than some...
I want to say for the RTX 3070 it was way worse than the 3080. I feel like not many people complained about the 3080, but the 3070 was a big problem. It was like, especially the 3070 Ti, oh my lord.
It was kind of on par with the RTX 2080 Ti, but it had 3 gigabytes less of VRAM coming in and a total of 8 gigabytes. And a lot of people, including myself, were very disappointed with the amount of VRAM that these cards came with. However, guys, I got some great news for you because at least 4 new graphics cards were just leaked over on Twitter by the Twitter leaker Comp87Kimi, who's a very well-known leaker, and these look to be the super series of the RTX 30 series GPUs. And if these specs turn out to be true, well, then I think this pretty much completely fixes the RTX 30 series lineup, as it should give them an adequate amount of VRAM. But let's not screw around anymore. Let's go ahead and get right into that leak. So according to Comp87Kimi, here's what he had to say. Quote, let's make a summary. 3090 Super, 10,752 shaders, 24 gigabytes of G6X. 3080 Super, 8,960 shaders, 12 gigabytes of G6X, 3070 Super, 5,888 shaders, 8 gigabytes of G6X, and finally the 3060 Super coming in with 5,632 shaders and 12 gigabytes of G6 memory. And then he says, although I doubt the specs of some of them, and the name of the 90 Super. And yeah, overall I gotta agree with him. While this does look really good, there are a couple things here that do have me questioning whether or not, maybe, I think especially with the RTX 3060 Super, if it really is gonna have either that amount of VRAM or that high of CUDA core count. And with the RTX 30 Super, I'm a little bit confused by some 8 gigabytes again. But if we take a look at these GPUs, especially the RTX 3060 Super, if this turns out to be true, yeah, I think this completely fixes everything and it makes things a lot more attractive, at least if the MSRP is right and if they can produce enough of these graphics cards. And just taking a look at them, I do think they are trying to build as many of these as possible. But let's go ahead and start off with the RTX 3090 Super, which honestly, guys, I think this one is the least impressive. It's basically just a couple more SMs on the RTX 3090. You might be seeing, potentially slightly higher clock G6X. Nothing too impressive there, maybe a couple percentage points in terms of performance, but probably also going to be very, very expensive. Now, taking a look at the RTX 3080 Super, this one I find a lot more impressive because, yes, although it's probably not going to give you a lot more performance, you're finally getting that 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which I think a lot of people liked. The 3070 Super, this one's not impressive at all whatsoever. You're just basically getting the same 3070, but G6X memory, so it should allow you to get, probably somewhere around...
Excuse me, guys, sorry.
But again, nothing too impressive there. But now if we take a look at the RTX 3060 Super, this is where things get very interesting, because here we can see it has 5,632 shaders, and the 3070 that we currently have on the market has 5,888. So the 3060 Super, at least according to this leak, would basically be on par with an RTX 3070, except instead of having 8 gigabytes of G6 memory, you would get 12 gigabytes of G6 memory. So that's some really, really impressive stuff. Honestly, guys, I think this is the graphics card that basically every single gamer would want. It's essentially like buying an RTX 2080 Ti, except for you're getting 1 extra gigabyte of VRAM, and also you're going to be getting, a little bit better ray tracing support and, newer drivers, etc. But yeah, basically, this graphics card, I think it really hits the sweet spot, giving you that 12 gigabytes of VRAM. 12 gigabytes of VRAM on the regular 3060 doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Hey, I'll take it over 6 gigabytes, but it is a little bit overkill. However, on the 3060 Super, which is essentially going to give you what I believe to be identical performance to a 3070, getting an extra 4 gigabytes of VRAM is going to allow this card to not only be able to max out games today, every single game, no matter what you throw at it, but it's also going to allow it, especially with DLSS, to last for a very long time going forward. So this is definitely a very impressive card. If I was looking anywhere between, like $400 to $800, this is basically the only graphics card I would buy. I really hope this is true, but like, Copate 17 you mentioned, I think especially with the 3070 Super, there are some questions here because, if it is using the same die as the 3070, which it kind of sort of looks like it is, but maybe it isn't, then it would be very strange for it to be using 12 gigabytes instead of 8 gigabytes, as that would require them to use a different memory bus. And it also raises the question, how much memory performance are we going to be seeing in terms of bandwidth? Is this going to be enough bandwidth? So that's something that only time will tell. But either way, I think this whole lineup looks much, much better than the original RTX 30 series that was launched. And if we take a look at these graphics cards, they're basically all cut down except for the RTX 3090 Super. So I think that this would allow them to produce more of these graphics cards, as well as their yield rate would probably be much higher, allowing you to have a better chance of getting graphics cards. So I think it's a good idea. I think NVIDIA is going to be, a lot of leaks and rumors are suggesting Q1 of 2022. That makes a lot of sense because honestly, guys, that would be right before Intel actually brings out their graphics card. And so in terms of a marketing perspective, it would be genius for NVIDIA, and it would be the absolute NVIDIA thing to do for them to come out right before Intel, launches their new graphics card to try and take away some of that press from Intel and bring it back over to NVIDIA. So I think it's a really good idea. I think it makes sense. I think this whole lineup makes a lot more sense in terms of performance as well as VRAM. And honestly, guys, I'm actually really excited to see these cards in Q1 of 2022. But hey, that's just what I think. What do you think the specs of the RTX 30 Super Series is going to be? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and NVIDIA get more stock.
Let's figure out what mic I should get. Switch back to main and
Hello everyone.
By the way, let me know how I'm sounding and all that. Also, feel free to chat. Feel free to say something. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I won't bite. Unless you ask nicely. No, I'm kidding.
In today's video, we're going to check out the best microphones for streaming. The microphones I listed here are recommended by the reviewers and have lots of positive feedbacks from the real users. So, if you're looking for the best one for you that is worth your money, then keep watching this video. I guarantee you'll find the best and suitable one for you from this list. One more thing. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check the links in the description.
No thanks.
Okay, let's start with the video.
Blue Yeti.
Whether you're looking to improve production quality on your Fortnite stream or sound clearer as you interview podcast guests across the table, Blue Yeti delivers. The Blue Yeti has been a staunch microphone recommendation for years, and for good reason. With solid metal construction, a simple setup, great sound, and important functionality like polar pattern, gain, mute, and headphone monitoring physically on the mic, the Blue Yeti is a surefire way to enhance your audio. The original Blue Yeti is sufficient for most people, but if it is within your budget, the Blue Yeti X offers some feature enhancements, namely improved software and a front digital LED for monitoring audio levels. If you're going to appear on camera for a broadcast, you can add a visual touch from an unlikely source, your microphone. The HyperX Quadcast S is covered in fully customizable RGB lighting, making it an especially good match for other illuminated gaming peripherals and PCs. Fortunately, the Quadcast S is not just for show. Its cardioid pattern recording sounds are clean and clear enough for serious streamers, and its built-in shock mount helps avoid awkward pounding sounds should you need to reposition it. The Quadcast S is more expensive than the Quadcast without RGB, but in terms of lighting options it is one of our favorite microphones.
Interesting. I'm not a fan of the RGB, to be honest. Blue Yeti Nano.
A Blue Yeti, but smaller? It's a great idea, and the Blue Yeti Nano makes an excellent broadcast microphone. As usual for the Blue brand, it's incredibly easy to set up and use, and its small footprint is more considerate for your desk space and better for packing and traveling. The Nano is also cheaper than the standard Blue Yeti, although the JLab Talk sounds better, in case you're looking for bargains. The Blue Yeti Nano also reduces the supported recording patterns to cardioid only and omnidirectional, though remember that you only need cardioid if you're only recording yourself.
Looks like Blue is really winning so far. I heard about this one.
For someone running a solid online stream with multiple audio sources, software is a crucial and complicated part of the process. If you are looking for an easy way to manage your increasingly complicated live broadcast, Elgato Wave 3 may be your solution. It's a solid microphone in its own right, with physical volume, gain and mute controls. It's the software that sets the Wave 3 above the competition. Wavelink software functions as a digital audio mixer, allowing you to mix up to 8 channels of audio within your stream. Especially for streamers using software like OBS or XSplit, Wavelink software can save their lives.
I'm just not a fan of the way that mic looks, man.
If you have a little extra cash, the Blue Yeti X may be worth using. It would make you sound drastically better than the standard Yeti, but at least it improves the control scheme. For example, you can check your volume levels at a glance using the LED display, and Blue has wisely moved the gain switch to the front, making it easier to access in a pinch. The sturdy microphone now has an LED lit front panel that usefully monitors your volume levels at a glance, and the sound quality remains top-notch. It's clear why this is still the mic of choice of many professional podcasters and streamers. It's still plug and play with a PC-compatible USB connection. It is not a complicated studio microphone.
Nobody needs that. Alright. Well, hang on a sec. We got a few more minutes. Let's do one more video and then I'm gonna call it quits.
Alright, so today we're going to do a roundup of 4 premium-ish microphones here. These are not in the budget class. They're not under $100. They're right above it. We'll be talking maybe around like 150-ish and right around there. But I think spending that extra money really justifies some of the features, build quality, and everything within these microphones. As far as these microphones, basic straight-up USB plug and play. And that's how we're going to test them. I'm going to plug them right into my Razer Blade 17 here in OBS, press record. I'm not going to dive into any of the software on any of these microphones and tweak anything. Right? All of them have software, you can dabble with them, all the sounds of the microphone and everything, but we're not going to do that. We're going to test the core sound of the microphone to make sure we're good out the box, and then of course you can dabble with whatever you want right there. As far as my environment, AC's running, I have the fan running over there on low setting, I have a fan running in this light right here, and then of course you might hear the laptop chug here and there. So again, just so you got an idea of my environment, a little bit of sound dampening, nothing major. Also, by the way, before we
let me know if Razers are good laptops. I've been meaning to get one in the near future.
Starting this test, if you want a deeper dive on any of these microphones, like a true, just like we're sitting here conversating for a half hour, I do Technique Talks every Sunday. I got a bunch already. You can go check out the playlist. In each one of those, I use a different microphone. So if you really are interested in, say, the Yeti right here, and you want to just really just hear that conversation, again, go check out Technique Talks right there, and I use one of these microphones in each different one of there so you can hear just for a long time and you get that real, true, like, conversation with them. But all in all, we're going to plug these up and get that sound test. Alright, so we're going to kick it off with the HyperX Quadcast S. This is the RGB version. Now, again, you can dive into the software and dabble with it. As you see, mine's coming up red right here. In the software, you can dabble with RGB, get some effects. It's pretty cool. I'm not an RGB guy, but again, whenever it's active,
thank you. I'm not either.
It's lit up red. As you see,
I think it's a waste.
You just tap it and it mutes. Kind of opposite what I expect, honestly, because on most headsets, when you're muted, it's red. When it's active, it's off. Opposite with this. And now we're back to active. But anyways, I really love the simplicity. It's just a very light tap. You barely touch it and it goes mute right there. So really cool. You can put it anywhere on like a mic stand or whatever, or down like this. Bam, just tap it right there. I really love it. Now it does come with this stand, which is metal also, and the shock mount here. So really cool. But even though it has this kind of shock mount, it's still going to pick some up because it's still radiating from that stand. So you might want to get it on a mic stand, or a lot of people use those arms. My favorite thing, by the way, to use, I love this little guy right here. I believe it's like 20 bucks, and this is like, you can work out with this thing, you know what I mean? Like, this weight is heavy duty, it extends. I love putting it away from where I'm working, bam, and putting a mic right there. I stinking love this thing and highly recommend it. I use one in here and not in my game room. Again, it's like 23 bucks, and no joke, it is
Nice.
stinking heavy duty, and it works with all these microphones. I really love that there. So anyways, as far as the microphone, you're pretty much hearing it. I'm all over the place right here. I'm right up on it. So if you wanted to talk right up on it, see I'm picking up a lot more, and it's jumping up into the red right here. Now if I scooch back to right here, it seems like it's pretty good. I'm not sure how much environment it's picking up. Now also on the HyperX Quadcast, you can see, now of course the microphone's out there, so the sound's going to sound like that. As you see, you have this little gain wheel. So you can tone it all the way down, and now we're probably sounding much quieter. Then you can crank it all the way up, and we're getting quite a bit louder here now. Now the weird thing, as you see, you got those dots right there. Look how far it overshoots them. Bam, all the way in front. Bam, all the way in back there. So that's pretty weird with this microphone. It's always thrown me off since I had this microphone. It's like, okay, I understand I got my 5 notches, but what about everything it's past? You know, it's just been very weird. But all in all, it feels quality. It moves smooth. The top is real smooth. The build is solid. The microphone's actually metal with a windscreen inside it right there to kind of prevent some of those P's. And is kind of half-half right there, right? Like, you got metal, you got the metal stand. The EPOS, the next one. Alright, so next up is one of the newer microphones that are on the market right now, and that is the EPOS B20. And straight out the box, the presentation or the feel of the product here is kind of half-half right there, right? Like, you got metal, you got the metal stand and everything, the metal around the actual body and then the grill of the microphone, so you have kind of that premium feel, but it's very lightweight. Like, it's kind of weird to say, like, it feels and looks premium, but it feels kind of cheap. As much sense as that does not make at all, you know what I mean? But again, you feel like you got a quality product, but again, it's just incredibly lightweight. As far as on this microphone, on the front, your mute button is right here actually. When you mute it, that light actually turns red. It's a little bit of click. I want to see if it picks up whenever we mute it actually. So I'm catching on my graph over here that it is picking up some of those mute presses. That's a little bit of a stinker because I like the tap. Coming off the HyperX, you just barely tap it, and you don't really pick anything up. This one, you get the click, so everyone in your call or your game is going to hear that right there. Now, on the front, you have your volume for your headphones, which connects right on the bottom, and again, you got the USB-C that connects on the bottom.
I am not liking how that sounds.
See how that cable's coming out from the bottom here? Now, if you're on a mic stand or an arm
Right,
or
let's
something,
move
you'll
on.
be good to go. Even if you're on that one we talk, but you're good to go. But on the one that it comes with, kind of.
I don't like how that
so
sounds.
now we're using the Elgato Wave 3 microphone here. And again, I've used this in Technique Talks before, and I've had really good results for this with this microphone. There's tons of accessories you can buy for this, the shock mount, the windscreen, and everything. But out of the box, this is what we get. And it's almost like the smallest or most minimal compared to the other ones or ones we're going to be testing here. And that starts with the mic stand here. It is metal, and you have a metal arm, but the arms, the little forks holding it on, are plastic, and they're just chintzy. Like when you take the microphone off, it has some flex. So again, the microphone stand's pretty chintzy, but I think Elgato kind of knows, like, yeah, most people that are going to be spending this kind of money on one of the upper tier microphones, they're probably going to be putting it on an arm, you know what I mean? And I think they kind of pack the features and everything, the money, the build into the microphone rather than the external, like, accessory being in the stand right there. But all in all, the Wave 3, as you see on the front right here, you have microphone, headphone, and then your mix as far as kind of like, what do you call it? Monitoring, mic monitoring. You can hear what's going on in your system and then what's going on through your microphone here. And you just press this and you can adjust it. Your microphone volume right there, your mix from your system to what you're hearing here, and then again, your microphone volume. Right now we're set on notch 3. We'll crank it all the way up. Now this is all the way up, and I'm peeking into the red, so I'm going to talk a little bit lower. I just want to crank it all the way down. Now we're all the way down. As you see, no lights on right here. We're all the way down. Get back to our third setting, which I think has always been the best for me. Just nice and balanced right there. Now, by the way, this guy has some nice heft to it. It really does. Again, because that whole metal stand on the bottom is metal. It's just the arms that are weird. The cool thing on the Elgato is just like with the HyperX
That's better.
broadcast.
That is so.
tap to mute right up there. And it's real simple, as you see, right up there. It just says mute, and it's such like, bam. Let me show you this way, and you can kind of see it mute. So I'll just tap it.
Interesting.
Very simple, quick, easy tap, just like on the HyperX. It's like you don't got to press it down. There's no clicky button. It's just like on your phone. If you just tap something like, that's exactly what it does. And I stinking love it, you know. USB-C coming out the backside, and that's where your headphone port is too. I really like it because it
let's
goes
go.
like the basic Yeti, and it might be a... All right, so now we're using the Blue Yeti X right here. Now, I know they have some other Blue microphones like the basic Yeti, and it might be a little bit cheaper than this, but again, we're using the Yeti X.
Here's that video. This is the video.
I bought 7 cheap microphones on
Fucking
Amazon
hell.
to try and find the best budget studio microphone to buy. They all have excellent reviews and are priced between $20 and $60. And as a bonus, I will compare the mics to a few more expensive options from previous videos. Let's start with the cheapest of the 7 mics. This is the Euka PC microphone with mic stand. Even the name sounds cheap. I will spare you of the full name of this mic since it's, well, what you would expect from a cheap product on Amazon, but I will put links to all microphones in the description. When I first took this mic out of the package, it immediately felt very cheap. There's not a lot of weight to it. The stand it comes with is completely made out of plastic, and the same can be said about the mic itself.
What the
it
hell is
literally
this?
feels hollow. This video is sponsored by Own.tv. Are you looking for new emotes? Then the new emote tool from Own.tv is perfect for you. After choosing your starting character, you can customize it further until it looks similar to you. When you're done customizing, simply click on Generate Emote and then you will be able to select the emotes you want to buy. The more you select here, the cheaper it gets per emote. If you are interested, then go to Own.tv or click on the link on top of my description to start creating your own emotes today.
Oh, thanks.
I think we can all agree that this mic sounds pretty horrible, right? By the way, I didn't
Yeah, it does.
notice this before the unboxing, but this mic is not a USB mic. They say so on the back of the package because it should come with an adapter, but it doesn't, so yeah. Let's test some other mic. Now, costing around $48, this Pseudotech mic is one of the more expensive ones we're checking out today, but it's a complete kit that contains 2 pop filters, a shock mount, and the mic itself, which looks kinda premium, and all of this comes with a boom arm to mount to your desk. By the way, since we are checking out the Pseudotech today, this microphone came in a similar box. I wanna test these mics against each other, since they are extremely similar. This is a test of the Pseudotech USB microphone. This is a test of the BM800 microphone. Now that I've heard how different these 2 mics sounded, I really want to test all the mics side by side. So this is the Fifine K669B, and this
Thought it was FIFA.
might just as well be the most popular budget USB microphone. The tripod legs are not made out of plastic like the first mic we tested. It feels pretty sturdy and it's the only thing that comes in the box besides the microphone. There is a volume knob on the front to change the gain, and overall the mic feels pretty premium. The next mic is the Relino M30. The stand is completely made out of plastic, but just like the mic, it doesn't feel fragile at all. Overall, it feels like a solid package, so I'm looking forward to testing this mic. So now we have 2 mics left to unbox. The Razer Siren Mini, which apparently is a phenomenal microphone for the price, and the Tonor TC777, which also is a very well known and budget friendly mic, and which sits in the same price category as a Fifine mic we discussed earlier. The mic arrives in one piece, ready to be plugged into your PC. The stand is pretty durable, the legs are made out of metal, and the shock mount is something pretty interesting. It's a simple piece of plastic with rubber bands around it that are supposed to hold the mic. The result of the shock mount is that any vibrations on your desk will not hit the microphone since the mic doesn't touch the plastic. And then lastly, somewhat of a fan favorite, the Razer Siren Mini. It comes with a USB cable, a piece of plastic to put between the legs and the mic to make it taller, the legs itself, and then the microphone. The mic itself feels pretty light. I expected it to be one of the heavier ones, but it might just as well be the lightest mic I tested today. Once you put it together, it kind of wobbles on the stand, which is pretty weird in my opinion, and I don't really know the purpose of this sideways movement, but overall the mic looks great. It's matte black, which is something I love, so I wouldn't be afraid of bringing this mic home to my parents. Let's test all of these microphones back to back. I'm really excited.
Here we go.
This is the Euka's USB microphone that costs $14 on wish.com and about $19 on Amazon. And I will keep talking while switching the microphones because there is something I need to explain.
Yeesh. That hissing
On the
is...
top right of the screen you will see a graphic of all the mics we are testing out today, grouped by polar pattern. By looking at the graphic of those polar patterns, you can see where the mic is recording sound from. The top of the circle is what will be aimed at your mouth, and then the bottom of the circle is the back of the mic that will be aimed at your keyboard sound. So the smaller the pickup pattern on the bottom of the circle that's gonna be aimed at your keyboard, the less keyboard noise you will get while you're talking. Some of these mics have a different pickup pattern or polar pattern. For example, this mic records less from the sides than most of the other mics, but in general there's not gonna be that much of a difference, especially with these budget microphones. And I tested how much noise actually gets removed by placing a mic in front of my speaker. I then played some keyboard ASMR that had the same constant volume all the time, and then I recorded one sample with the front of the mic aimed at the speaker and then one with the back aimed at it. As you can see, there was a clear difference, and this is because of the polar pattern. Right now I will let you hear the difference in keyboard noise for all the microphones. This is a test of the Euka's PC microphone.
Oh, Lord.
This one is omnidirectional, so you will probably hear a lot of keyboard noise. It is really important to know that while the polar pattern of a mic definitely helps to reduce background noise, using a microphone that's on a boom arm like this one or the previous one is going to be much more effective at reducing environment sounds than choosing a mic with a narrow polar pattern.
That pseudo-tech is pretty good. I'm liking it.
Especially since these cheaper microphones aren't as effective at cancelling out background noise compared to some more expensive options like the Rode Procaster I'm using. You can find a bunch of cheap microphone arms on Amazon for about $15 to $20, and they are definitely strong enough to carry these budget microphones. By the way, as a side note, the stand of this Relino mic is extremely big. I had to push my keyboard forward a lot to the point where it's kinda hard to reach it while typing, so this stand, definitely too big. The reason a boom arm helps so much is that it brings the microphone closer to your mouth and then further away from your keyboard at the same time. As a result of that, not only will your mic be further away from things like your keyboard, you can also pull down the gain of the mic since your mouth is closer to it now, which will also reduce environment sounds.
Speaking of
Another
gain,
effect of moving the mic closer to your mouth is that it will sound more full and warm like a real studio microphone.
alright.
So for my next and final test I will put all the mics on a boom arm since it definitely makes a huge difference.
Much better.
And again, keep in mind that adding a budget boom arm to each of these mics is going to cost you at least $15 to $20. This is a test of the Euka's PC microphone on a boom arm which positions it much closer to my mouth. As a result of this, all microphones will sound much warmer and much deeper. After this testing segment, I will do a recap.
I'm really liking that pseudo-tech mic. Let's see how much that costs before we go. Here we go. How much we looking at? $47. $47. Get the fuck out of here. That's actually relatively cheap. Alright, let's see. An 8-foot cable. Cache to complete audio. I don't really need a webcam because I have one already. I already have a USB hub. Yeah, I will say I'm really liking this mic. This mic is looking pretty good. Does it have a mute button? What? Okay, I'm gonna knock a point off for that, but other than that, I'm really liking that. What do you call it? That Sudotech mic looks like it's one of my favorites, or at least sounds like one of my favorites. But I think I've overstayed my welcome, as usual. So thank you all for joining me tonight for another episode of the Doghouse. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna dump this. Not dump. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube and then call it a night. I will see you guys next time. Peace.